Hey guys, home from Sturgis, and I know I've already posted a couple videos all about Sturgis. So you got to understand, this is the first ride I've taken in quite a while, and let's just say 3 years, the first big long ride I've taken. A big long ride. Sturgis is not that big of a ride. I mean, there's a lot of people that take 10,000 mile trips. This was a 2,800 mile trip, and I've taken 10,000 mile trips before. That lasted 3 weeks. That's a long ride, and there's people that even do a lot more than that. But this ride to Sturgis from the Tacoma area in Washington, it got hot, and I had not really thought it correctly through. The first thing I did wrong was I only took one helmet. Let me show you this. I took just a half helmet. I took a half helmet and I wore this neck gaiter type sock. They call it the buff. And that covers up my face and my nose, you know. And I also run earbuds up through that. And I'm old school. I'm still using an old iPod. Nevertheless, that worked really good, and I enjoyed the tunes. It's way better than the amplifier and the speakers that I had installed in my radio here. Those speakers, I spent a lot of money on those speakers and the amplifier, and that's probably the worst money I ever spent. But that's not what we're here to talk about. The thing is, I ran into a huge, actually 4 different thunderstorms on my trip. Once over Yellowstone Pass, Beartooth Pass, coming down out of Yellowstone. I came down to Red Lodge, and it quit raining. But then it started up again all the way to Laurel, Montana. And that's where I sought refuge, and I found some shelter and slept there that night. So anyway, what I'm getting at is, on a long trip like that, I don't think I'd ever leave home again without a full face helmet. This is a nice helmet, and I really like the way it fits me because I got an oddball, I got a Klingon type noggin, and this Arai helmet fits me really well. But it doesn't fit my glasses very well. The glasses, my 4 eyes, the glasses they really start bothering me. So these, this is a full face helmet, but I use this for shorter trips. Maybe a day trip is at the most. But this is probably the helmet I should have brought. This is a Nolan helmet. Not that it matters. It's made in Italy. That's a very good helmet, and I've about got my money's worth. You can see the headliner is caving in on it. This has been a very good helmet. I've replaced. I was able to get a new windscreen, and these little brackets here. It's such a good helmet that Nolan actually supplies replacement parts. Now, as old as it is, it's probably 8 years old. I'm not gonna repair it anymore. If I ever have any problem, I'll get another helmet. But I should have brought this helmet. This modular helmet is really nice. When you're on the road, it's nice to be able to just flip this up, take your picture, drink your coffee, do whatever you're gonna do. Flip it back down. If you're gonna talk to somebody, you can flip it up. You don't have to take your whole helmet off, which would mean you'd have to take your glasses off, take your helmet off, do your thing, put your helmet back on, put your glasses back on, and then reattach the strap. This has got a quick release strap. Very nice helmet, and I will definitely look at Nolan's the next time I get another helmet. These ones barely fit. This one barely fits my noggin and my Klingon skull. The Arai fits it pretty darn good. But the weather factor, it would have been really nice to have a full face helmet with a good quality visor. I ran into hail as well as rain, and it really would have been nice to have some protection on my eyes. I wear glasses, but the hail was hitting me. It made it really hard to ride. I'm stuck out on I-90, and there is no protection. I'm telling you, there is no protection from the elements. When you're out riding it, there were no overpasses to pull over. There were no trees to duck under. There was no shelter. All I can say is that created this next problem too. The wind was blowing so hard, and I mean howling from the side, to where you're going down the road and your motorcycle gets hit by the wind, and it's woo, it blows it over, and of course you counter steer and correct, and woo, there's one time it spit me over a whole lane, clear into the other lane. Thank God there wasn't any cars. I'm just saying that storm was real, and it was so real. And I'll make this my thumbnail. I had it mounted on here, but the thing is, I want to talk about these straps. You can buy these at any Harley-Davidson shop. They're about $6, $6 or $7. Very good, high quality strap. Let's just call it an X bungee. And I've got 2 of them, and I brought both of them, but I only had one attached with my tarp, my jacket, my sleeping bag, and my tent. Now I was wearing my jacket when this happened, so it was just my tarp and my sleeping bag and tent. So and it wasn't like it wasn't on real tight, but I've never had to put it on real tight. This has always been sufficient. I've never had any problem whatsoever with just attaching it, rolling it up inside the tarp and attaching it onto my luggage rack. I've never had a problem, but the wind was blowing so hard that when I finally found an exit and I pulled into the truck stop, there were motorcycles scattered all over the place. People had left their motorcycles underneath the pumps, underneath the shelter there, but there's people all over, parked all over, and I at least I was smart enough to pull over to the leeward side of the truck stop building, and I got out of the wind, and I got out of the rain, and I got off the bike, and you'll see the thumbnail. That is no joke. First of all, my old sleeping bag was gone. That storm took my sleeping bag. But what's amazing is that my tarp was barely hanging on, and my tent was attached. And you'll see the picture just by a thread. I will never go on a trip without, first of all, definitely bring 2 of these. But if thunderstorm or rain or wind is ever in the picture, use both of them. I mean, strap whatever it is you're strapping down, strap it down, not loosely, but really securely, because I'm not kidding you, it blew it off my bike. I lost my sleeping bag. I had to buy this sleeping bag at Walmart. Walmart is your friend on the road. This was $9.99, plus I bought a pillow. And the pillow it's a travel pillow, and that pillow is rolled up inside that sleep. It's all together. So $15, and I got myself set back up with a sleeping bag and a pillow, and then my tent. The other thing is my jacket. This is a darn good jacket. It's Harley-Davidson FXRG functional road gear, and it really is a nice jacket. It's you got vents, you got quality pockets, you got Velcro straps to adjust. On the inside, I've got elbow protection inside this pocket here. I've got the back protection. That's set up so you can use it for your pants or your rain gear, but I didn't have that. It's also set up for a kidney belt, but I didn't have that. The pockets on this jacket, I really don't want to get into the jacket, but I'm just saying it's a nice jacket. The one thing about this jacket, it's reflective, stripped on the back. It's not waterproof. It's not waterproof. And I didn't bring the upper rain gears. I brought my pants, and I brought their bib pants, but I didn't bring the jacket, it was summertime, and I should have brought this jacket. This also, it's an FXRG leather jacket, but this one is full waterproof. I've had this on trips where it's rained, and this is a perfectly good raincoat. And plus you've got the elbow pads in this, you got the back pads, all that stuff. I'm just saying, I got soaking wet in this jacket. I really did. I got soaked, and to the point where it's like, I got to do something. I got to dry off because I can't continue this wet. It was still cold that particular day. It was probably down to about 60 degrees. And if I would have continued, I would have froze my butt off. And honestly, I had a cold to begin with. It wasn't COVID. I left home, I had the sniffles, but by the time I got to Sheridan here, I was freaking sick. I was so sick that I bought NyQuil. I had Benadryl. You know, I went and I bought extra, my overnight bag. I had aspirin and I threw in some ibuprofen from home, but I actually ran out of ibuprofen, and I don't know where it's at, but I bought an extra bottle of ibuprofen. Where's it at? Well, anyway, walking around Sturgis, I was miserable. I was all NyQuil'd out, and maybe that's why Sturgis really wasn't all that fun for me. The trip was great because I recovered and it all went good. But so let's not talk about that right now. Let's finish up here. Definitely bring 2 straps and definitely strap things down really secure. If they're you know, just snug, that's not good enough. You want them strapped down good and tight. I mean, cinch them down. And I would use both straps. That way you've got eight things holding your stuff down. That's a $250 sleeping bag. My old sleeping bag was about $175. I'm sure glad I didn't lose my tent, but I'm missing my sleeping bag. That tent, by the way, is a 50-degree tent, which worked out good. I didn't need a winter tent for this trip, and I knew I wouldn't. So that 50-degree tent worked out good. Let's talk about hydration. You know, when you're out on the road, you don't want to get dehydrated. That's danger. That's danger to safety, right? Well, at one point I stopped and I got a gallon of water and I put it in my tour, in my saddlebag there. But seriously, all that did was kind of take up a lot of room in my saddlebag, and it weighs a lot. It took me about probably at least 3 days to kind of use that water up. And here's the other thing. I already had these. That's 64 ounces. That's 32 ounces. And that's about 20 ounces. Now, when I left home, don't do this. When I left home, I had this one that I was taking with me, and it fits real nice in the back of my tour pack. But I left it right there. I left it. I forgot it. I forgot it. It was the last minute I was going to load everything up, and I thought I had everything, and I left it sitting right there. So I got to Walmart, and again, Walmart is your friend on the road. That was another $20, but that's a half gallon, and I constantly would be filling that up with water and ice from the gas station. Every time I got gas, I'd fill this up with ice, and then I'd fill it up with water. And then I'd either pour it in here or I'd pour it in here. And at one point, I bought a 7-pound bag of ice from Walmart for $2, and I filled this up, and I filled all these up, and I still had a little bit left over. After that, I just started, every time I got gas, I would go in and ask the attendant, do you mind if I fill this up? And not one person said no. So after I started doing that, you know, the ice would melt off at the end of the day, or the next day I'd be pouring a lot of water out of here. But I never ran out of cold drinks. Even if your water is, you know, just a little bit of ice left, the water's still cold. And I always took a couple of beers with me. I like having a couple of beers at night. You know, in the evening after everything's done, I'll have a couple of beers, or I have a Red Bull that I take with me. I have Starbucks single shots. Or no, they're called double shots for some caffeine. Red Bulls for sure on the road, and I throw some candy bars in there. I like Snickers and Baby Ruths. It's nice. I like them cold, so I throw that. And you know, if you have a sandwich or something, it's nice to put it in the cooler so it doesn't get all, you know, oven baked inside your tour pack. So it's really nice to bring a cooler. Another thing I brought was this this here. You put a sandwich or whatever in it. Put it in your cooler, and that way it doesn't get all soggy. Anyhow, and let's talk about this too. So you got your water, you got your ice, you got your Red Bull, your coffee. How do you get your coffee? You know, I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I'm camping. Sure, I could go to the truck stop and get it. I could, but I thought, well, pull this out of the tour pack. Pull this out of the tour pack. That's my coffee making kit. And along with that, if I ever get hungry, I brought a can of stag chili that I never used, but who knows where you're going to be. Along with this, you could put that into this, or you could actually just cook this on your stove, and you know, you have a nice warm meal. Stag chili's pretty good. I like Stag, and I like that other brand that Costco sells. What is it? Oh, I don't remember. Cattleman's chili is really good. But anyhow, this is a stove I bought a few years back, and so in the morning you can read. I'm not going to get into how to use this, but that's my stove. This is my coffee maker. Set this down for a second. Use a paper towel, and I use this is just Dunkin'. It's cheap, but it's good coffee. I like it. Medium roast. I'll pour some grounds in here. Boil yourself some hot water. And I fill this up to the line. Right there, the fill line. I fill it up and I boil water. And the other thing about this water, first thing in the morning, I'll get a hand towel and I'll wash my face. Now this is dirty. This has got at least a day's use on it. Use these for a couple days and I'll get another one. Another thing you can do is go ahead and use them. And if you get a motel, just trade them out at the motel for a clean one. Trick of the road there. But boil your water, make your coffee, stick it in your mug, and then you got coffee for, you know, the first hour on the road. And that's what I do. This was about $25, a little expensive, but it folds up nice. And I like using a paper towel, because if you don't use a paper towel, then your hot water just goes straight through. That screen is not fine enough, and your coffee's not fine enough to really do a good job of filtering it. But if you take, it's a trick of the road, you take a paper towel and stick it in there, put your coffee in there. It's just like a coffee filter. You could even use a coffee filter, but these are pretty plentiful on the road, and that works real good. One thing I wanted to talk about, you know, there's certain things you can bring and there's things you don't need to bring. And if you really want to pare it down to the simplest way to go, and the nice thing about being simple is that just means you need to throw out things that you don't use. Like this is if you're using the bottled fuel, like gasoline, you'd bring this, the white gas, and that's what you would use for this MSR stove. But I wasn't using that. I was using that. So I didn't need this portion of the stove. I could have left it home. Now the stove also comes with these. They're wind protectors, and I guess I'd say bring these, because you never know, you know, if it's going to be blowing wind in the morning. Get your coffee boiling as best you can. It makes a big difference. So I'd say, yeah, bring these. This here is to hold that fuel bottle upright, although from what I've seen, I didn't really need it. However, there might be some conditions where I would need to use it. So I'd say bring that, and I just wanted to touch base on that, on the stove again real quick. The other thing I'm getting at is that there's certain, if you pare it down, I say yes, if you're not familiar with the stove, bring the directions. I think the first time I used it, I did use the directions because I couldn't remember exactly how things were working. Because I couldn't remember what the hell this thing was for. I'll set this aside. Let's go back to the tour pack. What did I use in the tour pack? Got pistachios. No, they're not pistachios. This is where I kept all my... Hang on. This is where I kept all my wires. You know, the wire for my charging cable for my camera. It's a special one. It's not a regular one. I got a charge cord. If I want to listen to music, let me bring this out. Portable little boom box. There was a couple nights I listened to my music at the camp spot, which was kind of nice. Set that out, and you can listen. You don't have to wear your earbuds. You can just listen to music. Highly portable. It's a luxury item, not necessary. If you're going to go minimal, don't bring it. Just wear your earbuds, and that way you wouldn't have to bring that either. But for me, I had to charge my. I had to charge this, so definitely needed that. I'd say always bring 1 or 2 extra charge cords for your phone. All you got to do, most of you know, all you got to do is bend this. Just drop it or bend it, tweak it once, and it doesn't work anymore. I need a new phone anyway, but bring at least 1 extra. Again, Walmart is your friend, but it's nice to have one when you need it instead of the next time you get to Costco, if you remember to buy it there at Costco. And by the way, these pistachio bags are very high quality bags. I used this the whole trip. I opened and sealed this numerous times, and it's still like new. It's a very heavy duty bag. So don't throw these away. You know, rinse them out with some soap and water and use them over and over. Highly recommend it. Let's go back to the tour pack, see what else we got here. I brought this AM/FM radio in case I wanted to listen to the news or something. You know, AM/FM is kind of iffy all along the route there. I did try to use it once or twice. I got a little bit of signal, but it really wasn't that good. Another luxury item. If I had to choose between the two again, I think I would leave this at home. This is a nice, comfortable lamp. See, you can hang it. I did use it. You know, hung it there on my tour pack at night. This is my central camping. This is where all my camping is based on, right here in the tour pack. So I definitely used that. But what I used more, again, that is a luxury item. And I think if I had to do a trip like this again, I'd leave it at home, and I'd just bring my headlamp, because this is kind of this works for everything. This is phenomenal. And this was just something I got at Costco. It works great. I use this every night at camping. This is I would definitely not leave home without that. Here's my ibuprofen. I ran out. Like I said, I had to buy this. I'll just bring more next time. This container is too big, but I'll definitely bring more ibuprofen next time in my smaller bottle, just in case. This is the second or third trip I've been on, not necessarily on the motorcycle, but where you out of the blue you get hit with a cold. It's no fun. And for me anyway, ibuprofen is the go-to remedy. Pain reliever, fever reducer, and if you're feeling like I was feeling, you definitely bring some ibuprofen. Another convenience item. This is full of tequila. You can get. I figured if I felt like celebrating with a margarita or something, you can always go to Walmart and they've got those 1 quart margarita mixes. This was just to save. This is probably 2 drinks. This is like if you're going to have 2 margaritas. So that'd be 2 16-ounce. Probably good for 2 or 3 16-ounce margaritas. Again, a luxury item. I did not use it on this trip. Just in case. I always take this with me. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. If I'm with a friend, I'm probably more apt to use this. But if I went on this particular trip again by myself, I'd say I'll leave it at home because I drink the beer at night. That's why I have my cooler. After a hard day's ride, I like a really cold beer. It tastes good with your food too. And what else I got in here? It's an extra battery pack. I did use this inside a museum. My phone battery, it doesn't last that long anymore, and it's nice to have some extra power. Just in case, I would say bring it. Extra power is important sometimes. I can't even get it shut off. I don't know what's going on. What else we got in here? Okay, inside my bag, I've got a very high quality LED light. I think it's like 600 lumen. Bring my Spyderco knife, very high quality knife. I use this. I use it for cutting whatever cordage. It's my steak knife if I need it. Definitely bring a knife. I also brought my pocket knife, and I probably use this more than anything. It's got my toothpick and tweezers. I use my toothpicks a lot. Can opener, screwdrivers. These are awesome. I'd take this with me anywhere, anyhow. I got a pen just in case. That's about it for. I won't show you that. For washing dishes. You can use hand soap or whatever, but a scrub pad in case you got to wash some dishes or scrub something. Brought my swimming trunks. I didn't really use anything in this pocket. I should do a separate video about this bag. That's a fucking knife. Gotta bleep that out. Yeah, I'll do another video all about this bag because I take this with me no matter what, no matter where I'm going and no matter how I'm going there. This has got everything for for an overnight trip. Taking it into the motels, you just pull it out and take it with you. Let's talk about this. This is Notice they're both empty, and I used one other bottle. You can get these at Walmart for less than $4 each, and it's just a fuel additive. I marked them out before I left home for 5 tanks. They come filled up to the brim here, and so the first tank you'll pour that much in, the second tank down to here, third tank, fourth tank, fifth tank. And I didn't use them every single tank. And sometimes, you use less gas than others. Sometimes you're on a full tank, you'll add the whole, just kind of add a little bit here and there. This is supposed to lube your cylinders, your whole upper engine, your valves, your cylinder walls, your rings. I've noticed that the engine runs a little bit better. It's a noticeable difference, and also I think it improves your gas mileage slightly, enough so that it actually pays for itself. And plus, you're getting the added benefit of extra cylinder wall and piston rings and valve train cooling. And on hot days like I experience from 85, 95, 105 degrees, you need all the help you can get. So I would bring this again. In fact, I'd probably bring 4 bottles, or bring 2 bottles and buy one like at Walmart when you need one, like I did. I did buy one on the road. And by the way, this is the way to do it. Buy a gallon of it and refill those bottles as required. There's a couple more bottles there, and I've got a couple in my van, and I use them on all my stuff. That is Lucas Products, the complete fuel treatment, fuel injectors, fuel conditioner, treats 400 gallons, gasoline or diesel. And you do the math, and it's just like an ounce or so per 5 gallons, or 5 ounces per 20 gallons or 25 gallons. So anyway, let's continue on. These are frog togs. They're bibs. Definitely do not leave home without your rain gear. That should be on that's absolutely priority. I only used my leather chaps one time, and that's just because it was kind of cold in the morning. All the rest of the time it was super hot. So I would say bring your chaps. The frog togs even fit over the chaps. If it gets really cold, and you just don't know. I mean, you don't know if it's going to snow in July, especially up at 10,000 feet on Bear Pass and running into thunderstorms. You don't know. I would say prepare for the worst just in case. And because this trip, it rained hard. What else I got in here? Probably here's another empty bottle of that stuff. If you change your oil before you leave, you're going to have an extra half a quart. Definitely bring some extra oil. I bought one extra of these on the way home. I use about a half a quart every 1,000 miles. So this was a 3,000 mile trip, so it worked out about right. I've got a half a quart left, but anyway, that's because I changed my oil when I got home.